All right, so I'm placing my hands on my heart, taking in that deep breath of love and gratitude. So grateful for this time to come together, to be the two or more who are gathered in the name and the nature of love. Grateful to declare our willingness to shine the light on any blocks to love and to be a healing, loving presence in this world. We are grateful for the love and compassion of each other and for all of our earthly and heavenly helpers. We ask them to join us now, surrounding and supporting us, leading and guiding us, bringing ease and grace and strength and courage to each and every one of us. We are grateful for this technology that we are able to connect with each other during this time of uncertainty. And we're grateful that we get to share the benefits of the love and light that we are with everyone because we're one with them. In grace and gratitude, we let it be, and so it is. Amen. All righty, so we're, in chapter 15, section 3, littleness versus magnitude. And right off the bat, in the first and into the second paragraph, where he says, littleness and glory are the choices open to your striving and your vigilance. You will always choose one at the expense of the other. Each time you choose, is that your choice? Is that your choice is your evaluation of yourself. Choose littleness and you will not have peace, for you will have judged yourself unworthy of it. And then towards the end of that paragraph, it is essential that you accept the fact and accept it gladly that there is no form of littleness that can ever content you. You are free to try as many as you wish, but all you will be doing is to delay your homecoming. For you will be content only in magnitude, which is your home. It's our responsibility to be the light of the world. That's why we're doing our own work together, because it's not easy. It's not a lot of fun sometimes, and but it's our responsibility to claim that that is the truth of us. Carla, go ahead.
Yet, what I hear you say is hard, and it's, I hesitate to say that, but yet that is what we came here for. That is exactly what we came here for. So, is it? So, I was trying to read. I was like, "Where is she reading?" And I'm like, "Oh, I had shifted in the books." But, and I think that one of the sentences you read was one of the sentences I underlined, and that's kind of what I would want to talk about now. Is that I used to, whatever, I'd see the judgments, I'd see the upset, I'd see it's, what is I? Ego? Chooser? I get to choose. And so this is very important. That's been very important in my awareness, my growth of awareness, is that I used to look at the judgments, the upsets, the choices as proof that I am something. No, it's not. It's what it is. It's showing me my own thinking, the choices that I make. And so when I recognize that, oh, I'm making the choices, and who was I? I don't know. Then Gina Lake says we're like three, not people, three entities or something. I don't know what the word was. where the one who fell asleep, the one who's waking up, and the one who has never fallen asleep has always realized the truth of who I am. So I guess I was the one that's waking up. But I think I was the one that was making the judgments. Constantly everything is judgments. How, this chair, this coat, this cold, it's warm, it's a nice day, I judge it all the time. When I realized this is very important to me. So I realized, no, that is not true. The I is the ego thinks it's me, the false self offers me a thought. It just offers me a thought, and I accept it. I believe it. I say yes. And when I realize that, it doesn't stop offering me these thoughts because it believes it is something. But I get to choose. Like Jennifer teaches it, no, I'm not interested. I just never go there anymore. Not sometimes I do. I just don't do it. It's all progress. This life is one big lesson within little lessons. One big lesson with little lessons. So once I realized that I was never the thought, sometimes I know that is not a thought. That's a knowing. It's a different feeling. When I know, there's peace, there's certainty, there's calm. When there's upset, like Jennifer teaches, it's believing a thought offered to me by ego that is not true. This was huge for me, huge. And that is the decision I make stems from what you think you are and represents the value you place upon yourself. And it says, would you be hostage to the ego or host to God? I don't rail against the choices I make anymore. It's all just a practice. But I desire to be host to God. And what is that? That's to see everything with love. Even when I choose the judgments, to see that with love. Because only love is the healer. That is all we came here for. And that is how we extend God. And the last thing I'll stop is that for every decision you make, does answer this. Am I hostage to God or the ego? And invite sorrow or joy accordingly. We have all the answers are given to us all the time because of that. I used to get so stuck in the sorrow, the judgments, the upsets, the beliefs that they are as something. No, they are just showing me by the way I respond, by how I choose, the thought I choose. Everybody in this world, whatever they choose, and sometimes they're learning too. They are learning too. And sometimes, but their choices, even their learning, helps my learning. And when I embraced that, accepted that, when I loved that, everything shifted for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carla. Who else would like to share? Go ahead, Mitzi. Good to see you all, by the way. I'm so glad you're here.
I feel that same way. I am. I absolutely love this section. I loved it so much. Just the reminder, I really took it to heart that where it said, my choices are the evaluation of myself. And every decision is from what I think I am and the value that I place on myself, like Carla was saying. And I just love listening to her insights and experiences. And I also just felt that freedom that came with knowing that that's true. It's really true. And so I just had it just made me remember that sometimes I really put a small value on myself and the decisions that I make and have made, but was unaware. I didn't see it this way. I just didn't see it this way. So like Carla, like what is yesterday was yesterday, you know? And so today I can feel really encouraged knowing that that I have great value because I am following God to the best that I can, and my decisions are that idea though that every decision is a choice for sorrow or joy. That was a little tough one, you know, for me to say, because I don't want to get so paralyzed that everything I do is the minutia of the day and that. But the basic things, I want to say, part of me is like, okay, what is my intention here to try and stay really conscious that I don't have ulterior motives really that are really available for me to know, but I just kind of like don't want to know it in a way. But really slowing down. I've loved this period. I've had to be down for 3 weeks already because I hurt my foot some time ago. So I've had some practice at staying in and slowing down already and having, and it's just afforded me just some really good time to learn how to be uh, how to not be striving inside of time, how to just be with time and be with whatever is the next thing to do. Or maybe there's nothing to do right at that moment. It has really helped me not equate doing with my being and my value, which has been a tough thing with looking at uh, the change in how I go about my life. So I just wanted to say that. Thank you all. I love you all. And thanks for everyone who showed up today.
Thank you, Mitzi. Yep, it's a time of reflection. Caroline, go ahead.
Hi there, everybody. Carla and Mitzi really hit the nail on the head because I was going to mention the same thing. Where it says here, you who have sought and found littleness, remember this: every decision you make stems from what you think you are and represents the value that you put upon yourself. And I even woke up this morning thinking, because my sister-in-laws were going to come over tomorrow for cake and some ice cream, for pizza. And I thought, no, they don't need to come over because it's my birthday. And I said, no, they don't need to come over. And with all that's going on right now, I was thinking, well, no, it's not a big deal, you know. And so, you know, I got past that and they're still coming over. But also with things that I have tried to do, things that have interested me that were especially of a creative interest, I've always talked myself out of it because I thought, well, no, I don't deserve, I don't need to do this. You know, it's like my way of talking myself out of it from maybe being creative and actually doing something. I don't know how to say, I don't want to say big, but to go past my comfort zone of staying under the wire, you know what I mean, to stay out of everybody's view. And I think that's an unworthiness issue that I have, and that really, those lines really hit home with me. And I really appreciate what Mitzi and Carla said too, because yeah, it's true. And so when I make the decision, like last year when I chickened out to do the Masterful Living course, I also talked myself out of it because I thought, well, no, you don't need to do this. You can't, the money, blah, blah, blah. And that was my way of staying in the littleness instead of going beyond that. So yeah, it's hard because with every decision we make on a daily basis, we have to confront it. So yeah, that was all. Thank you.
Thank you, Caroline. Yeah, we just have to be vigilant, and yeah, I say it's hard, like you just said, Caroline, but honestly, it's not hard. It just takes willingness and a greater willingness and a greater willingness and a more greater.
Exactly. Yes, that's true. Yeah.
Because,
well, I'm willing. I'm all willing, but yeah, sometimes it's right in your face,
yeah.
So.
Because I feel like sometimes my willingness is much greater than others. Like for the last few nights, I have been waking up like between 3:30 and 4:30 in the morning. And I would just get irritated that I couldn't fall back to sleep. I would get irritated. I couldn't fall back to sleep. And so this morning when it happened again, I was like, all right, I'm not going to fight this. I'm just going to lay here and pray in my mind while I'm here. Mm-hmm. And the insight I got was, which I was so grateful for, because I used to work in a holistic health clinic. I was able to see the circadian rhythm chart where it correlates all of the hours with a different body part. And between the hours of, I can't remember now if it's 3 or 4 or 4 and 5 a.m., correlates with the lungs. And the lungs is what's being affected by this virus. So it was like, I was able to feel like, oh my God, God's waking me up at this time so that I can pray for people that are being affected by this virus, because this is the time when the lungs are, this is their circadian rhythm. And it was awesome because then I just prayed and then I fell back to sleep and I slept until 8:30, which is so late for me. But, because I didn't have that willingness the nights before, and I'm learning. So anyways, go ahead, Leslie, and then Carla.
Well, as you can see, I am not in my office today. I'm in my home office. In Michigan, we were ordered a shelter in place. So I am working from home, and this is one positive that Rue gets to be my co-worker. So that's nice. The other positive is that I get 2 extra hours in my day since I get to avoid the hour of travel time each way, and no makeup for 3 weeks. Hello. So I'm enjoying that. I have everything set up to work from home, so I'm grateful about all that. I did have a interesting moment yesterday when I found out. I was really angry at first, and I went for my walk at work, and I was like, okay, Leslie, what's going on here? It's like, why are you so pissed? And it's like, well, it's affecting me now. It was really humbling thought, because so far the only thing that had affected me was I needed to get new cat litter, and I couldn't get my regular fruit chews, and a couple things were back ordered. But other than that, I'm like, it's all good, it's fine. I mean, I feel bad for I feel bad for a lot of people, obviously the healthcare workers and the patients themselves, but it was just interesting how my ego was like, oh, sure, when you still feel in control for the most part, you're okay. But the minute it's really, I have to be with my husband for 24/7 for the next 3 weeks. Wow, that's a lot, God. But, it's okay. So that was interesting. And it's so interesting that once I addressed it to myself and I was able to identify it and feel it, and I was able to let it go really quickly, so that anger didn't stay with me the rest of the day, and I was able to get ready and put myself together and get everything I needed to work from home, and it's going to be okay. I mean, maybe Mitzi said this, but time is really interesting right now. It's like you're just kind of seeing how it's going to unfold. It's like the planning of your future and the planning is just put on hold, and it's really interesting just to breathe and say, what is mine to do now? What is mine to do now? And going back to our reading, what I really love this reading. Thank you, Linda. It was perfect. Just starting paragraph 3. Every decision you make stems from what you think you are and represents the value you think you are. Paragraph 4, sentence 3, you do not have to strive for it, meaning magnitude, because you have it already. And this was my favorite, paragraph 4, sentence 5. To hold your magnitude in perfect awareness in a world of littleness is a task the little cannot undertake. You are not alone. The power of God will support you. And I just love that. It's like, you know what? The littleness of us, the ego part, we couldn't handle this. But the magnitude of spirit and of God, we can all handle this with ease and grace. And we just have to remember who walks with us and who walks beside us. And I had written down the other things that Carla had said too, as far as with every decision, and I like this, with every decision, ask yourself and have Holy Spirit ask yourself, would you be a hostage to the ego or host to God? It invites sorrow or joy to my life. And that's so true. So I like that a lot. And just the end, paragraph 10, sentence 9, the host of God need not seek to find anything. We already have it all. It's just that willingness. And thank you all for letting me show my beautiful little kitty cat.
Thank you, Leslie, for showing your kitty cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I love that at the beginning of that paragraph 3, where he says, there is a deep responsibility you owe yourself. So it's our responsibility to realize the magnitude of what, who, and whose we are. And yeah, we're the magnificence of God. We just need to open ourselves up and realize it. Carla, and then Caroline, and then Amanda, I'd like to ask how you are doing. So Carla first, go ahead.
I'm doing fine. But I want to respond. There are two things. Is it, I don't know if I can show you. You can see the writing on the wall. Sorry. Because I'm in a wheelchair, I got shit everywhere. And then there's one right here, back here, and there's like probably 18 around. And this is the one that I was prompted to read. I was going to try to show it to you, but I'm not going to try because I already knocked something over. What do I want? The answer is whatever I choose each moment. Each choice answers that question. What I'm choosing, what I'm desiring in that moment. And what I wanted also to go back to is when you're talking about willingness. It seems so interesting. This is a long book. It's many ways of speaking about a lot of things, but for me, and I feel like a janitor because I say, oh, this is a key, that this is a key, and this is a key, and this is a key, and this is a key to each instance, each experience, each moment, each choice, right? And I don't know if it's a master key, but that's what came out of my mouth, is the willingness. That I used to have immense, incredible dreams, and I go, oh, that was amazing. I'm going to remember that. And I'd go back to sleep and I'd forget it. And I'm like, I'm going to stop that. As learning, I'm like, learning, like, I started writing it down. I'm supposed to leave. I don't know why I never changed that. But, and so I go, and I'd write it down, and I go back to sleep, and I wake up, and I forget all about it, and I'd find it like a week or a month later. I'm like, oh, that was amazing then. Why it doesn't seem that incredible now? But so finally, I learned I wasn't going to let it go anymore, and I decided to start texting myself my awarenesses, because nobody else is going to text me except myself, so they're all there. I can just find them. I have like 3 years of them. It's like 2 books. It's probably a couple hundred pages, but big typed, printed out sort of thing. But so this is what I was going back to willing. This is what the awareness that finally woke me up, that it said this line: your healing is only limited by your willingness. So grow your willingness until you are fully healed. And that's what I do in every moment when I see the resistance. Now, sometimes I miss it, I'm a spirit having a human experience. And our spouses, our parents, they're helping us learn this. And so that is, it's not like the only thing I do, but that's where everything starts, from willingness. Because it says it takes a little willingness in the course, and then it says in the end, it says, well, I don't know, but I think we read earlier, it said it takes great willingness. And then in the course of love, it says it takes total willingness. I'm like, wow, total willingness. Oh my gosh. But I'm getting there. I am getting there. I am total willingness. And so all I have to do is get there in my human choices. And so that's what I want to talk about, is what, just look for the love, look for the joy, whatever. Look for the willingness. And if you find you're unwilling, something ego is offering a thought that you agree with, make, in that second, make a willingness statement. Don't have to write it down, don't have to memorize it. Let it go and give it to spirit and say, this is what I'm willing to do. Help me out here. So that's what I want to do.
Thank you, Carla. Caroline.
Hi, I'll make it really quick, okay? I just wanted to add on to Leslie's comments about time. In the past 3 weeks, things have really slowed down, and a lot of things have come to a halt. But I've noticed within the past 3 weeks, it feels like something inside of me has slowed down too. Like before, in my house, I'd see a pile of dirty dishes in the sink and I'd be frantic to wash all the dishes. Now I just throw one more dish on top and I'll say, later, and it feels really good to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Or the patio needs sweeping and I get out there in the morning and sweep every little leaf that I could find, and it's like, whatever, later. It doesn't seem so important.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a release for me, and it feels really, really good. I don't know if anybody else has experienced this. Yeah. But and the other thing is, we have a guest ranch here in Baja California where I live, and 12 groups canceled on us because of what's going on. So we have come to a halt as far as work, and I had to close my English school just when I was getting it going. But I feel a calmness inside. My husband's worried, but I mean, financially, we'll be okay for a few months. But he's worried, so I reassure him, and I suggested, I put this on my personal Facebook page, if it's possible for anyone to get out into nature where there's not a lot of people, you know, to respect the health requirements.
Yes.
Get out into nature, into the fresh air, instead of being closed up in your house, or you get cabin fever or something like that, if you can. And that really helps with the anxiety and the stress
Mm-hmm.
of what's going on and being in your house. And so I suggested to my husband, how about if next weekend we go on a camping trip? Because we're not working. And he says, well, yeah, we could do that. And so now my daughter's going and my son-in-law. And there's a lot of secluded places here in Baja where there's not a lot of people. So we're going to do that. And, well, it's a nice opportunity for the family to get together. So there's a lot of release, and there's a lot of squelching down the stress and anxiety. But it's all good, you know, and we just, and I noticed that about time also. Yeah, so that's it. Okay. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, Caroline.
Thank you.
Yeah. Amanda, I just wanted to check in with you and see how you and your are doing.
You're, oh, whoops. Wait, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Did you say it cut out when you said that? Did you say me and how is my dad doing?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just got off the phone with him right before this call. And I have a hard time because like I have to call him through the resident line because he's not using his cell phone. He's like just not, I don't know. Yeah, he's just not remembering how to use his cell phone anymore or whatever. But he sounded really good on the phone, like kind of normal. And it's strange to just talk to him on the phone only and not be able to go see him. And then I keep asking him if he knows why I can't come in and see him. And he kind of knows, like he'll say, yeah, there's something about a quarantine, he'll say, like things like that, but he doesn't really fully know what's happening. I highly doubt they're, you know, yeah, I mean, I don't know. And then, yeah, so I just keep telling him, well, they're just protecting you guys. They don't want this virus to get in there. And then he'll just change the subject, like, well, how are you doing and what's happening? Yeah, I mean, he's in good spirits, so I feel good about that. I just worry about, you know, it getting in there, I guess. You know, I worry about that happening. I worry about, you know, and then, oh, I don't know if I had told you guys last week, was it last week, that his doctor had called me and told me, you know, that he was in decline and things. But he sounds so good on the phone, I just don't even know. I think it's just a slow, I think she just wants to check in with the residents' family now that we can't go in there. And I just, you know, I think she just was giving me an update, but like it was such a dramatic moment at the time because we had just been given shelter in place and, you know, and all of that. So I felt, yeah, anyway, it's just been, yeah, so anyway, I he seems good. He's, you know, everybody's home here in my house, and that's kind of, you know, like going a little bit stir crazy, but but I don't know, I'm doing good. And I think my other big challenge is my 12-year-old, almost my 7th grader girl, and just making, you know, like it's so, I mean, we got in a little fight this morning because, you know, just all the screen time, and all my friends get to be on their screens all the time. no, I don't think that's true. And I have to, this reminds me that I have to read this kind of stuff every day and remind myself, call forth in everyone only the remembrance of God, and heaven is in him, because I want to, argue back, and, when I'm engaging in that, I'm not choosing the right thing. I'm choosing my ego over, it's like, it's my opportunity to heal. That's what it is. So why can't I just do it? I love you, Carla. I love your animation. I thank you for all the fun things you say. You remind me so much of my cousin Olga, who lives in she was living her whole life, most of her life in Kalamazoo, Michigan, but now she's in France. And I got to Facebook video call her through Messenger, Facebook Messenger the other day, and I hadn't spoken with her in a while. And anyway, she's in France, and the whole time I was talking to her, I was thinking of you, Carla. You guys you have a similar look. You have a similar way about you. I don't know. I'm just like, oh my God, it's Carla. But anyway, it just made me happy, and it makes me happy to see you because you remind me of my cousin Olga. Anywho, that's kind of neither here nor there, but it just makes me happy, and so yeah. So anyway, she's kind of right now my 7th grader is sort of my biggest call to action to live in the holy instant, because it's so hard. It's so hard. I just want to come from my ego with her when she's me, and I'm like that back, and I beep. This power struggle all the time. Not all the time. I promise you there are good moments, but yesterday was kind of a good day, and she self regulated really well yesterday. And I mean, it's got to be, so I know it's hard for her. I know it's hard. They don't understand, when they're that age, what's all this, and she's extremely social, and so it's hard. Okay, that's all. But my dad's doing okay, and I'm just missing him. I wish I could go and see him, but the other little thing I want to just mention that I'm having a hard time with too is so we get together for Sunday dinner every Sunday with my husband's family, but this past Sunday we decided not to go, and his sister is kind of annoyed by it, and it's like, well, she's 90. My mother-in-law's 90, and she hosts Sunday dinner at her house every Sunday, and she didn't get that mad about it. She kind of understood, but sort of doesn't at the same time. She's just like, well, we're family, But I'm like, well, she already has my husband's sister going there all the time, so she's already, and she works with food. She makes food, so she's still working because she makes hummuses and packaged food that goes into grocery stores. She has a small business here that she's had for 30 years or whatever, and so she brings that stuff to all the health food stores, the co-ops and everything here locally. So there's 7 stores she goes to a week, delivering these goods, and that already makes me nervous knowing she's, you know, exposed in that way. And then she's going to see her 90-year-old mother. But like, what else can we do? We gotta, I mean, her mother is completely self-sufficient. My mother-in-law is like 90 and she does everything herself. She cooks, she cleans, she has no problem. She's like not, but she's 90. You know what I mean? So like, and she does have a pacemaker. She had a pacemaker put in a little over a year ago. So, but she's okay, you know, she's healthy and everything, but like, I still worry, like, I don't want to add more to what she's already being exposed to. And anyway, then her daughter, our niece, my husband's sister daughter, our niece, who's, you know, 35 or whatever, has a 2-year-old, came up from San Francisco because she felt safer up here. Well, okay, she lives in San Francisco, you know, like, I love her and I want to see her and I would like to see her, my 2-year-old grandnephew and everything, but I love him. But like, what? No, I can't, you know what I mean? We have to do what we have to do here. And I don't know. I know some families are more lenient about all seeing each other, but like, I feel like I go out in the community all the time. I'm the one going out into the community to get stuff from the store. And every time I'm at the store, I feel like, you know, what if I'm, you know, people are walking around with this stuff asymptomatic, you know, like, how do I know whether I'm carrying it or not? I don't know.
Yeah.
Ay. So I'm having a hard time like dealing with some of that. And I have to like know, I have to, you know, do this work so that I can be sane and know that I don't know what anything is for. I don't know what anything is for. And it's not, I can't control other people, and I can make decisions and not get angry at other people about what they're doing, you know, just it's every, you know, we're all just doing the best we can and everybody's doing what they need to do, and I don't know what it's for. I don't know what it's for. Like, it might be the right thing that they're doing that because of whatever reason. So I have to just remember that. All right, that's all from me.
Yeah. I know it's a lot. It's a lot for all of us to deal with. And I can relate to that, Amanda, because, you know, I'm here now sequestered with my husband. My son has taken himself out of the game. He's, you know, he's not coming to see us. He's not coming to see my mother because my husband and my mom are both immune compromised. And, you know, my sister had to go back to work on Monday. She works at UPS, you know, which those drivers are delivering all over the place, getting shipments from all over the place. And, you know, we've heard stories about them coming to work sick because they're afraid to lose their jobs. And, you know, my sister and I have had those moments of, you know, here we are exposed to the world and doing the best we can to be safe and smart. And still the thought pops into our mind, are we going to kill our mother because she's immune compromised and we're taking care of her? You know? So I just have to trust that what I am doing to take care of my mother, what my sister is doing to take care of my mother, what her caregiver is doing to take care of my mother, that we're all doing the best that we can. And if it does happen, it happens. And that's what the path was meant to be. The script is already written. So all I can do is let go of all the judgments and the worries and the fears that I have, because that's not going to do my immune system any good. So I feel like that's, you know, that's my task. Yeah.
Thank you, Linda. Yeah, I thank you for saying all that. That's true. That's really, and I don't know, like, I'm kind of like, should we be going over there because we're all family and we need each other?
No, I feel
Like,
like
I
you're
just don't
getting
even
the
know what the
message
right
to
thing is.
stay put, to stay home, to stay away. And if that's the message that you're getting, just be comfortable with it. Be comfortable with it. Don't judge yourself for it, and don't judge your family members for doing what they're doing, and try not to judge them for if they're judging you
Yeah,
even, because they don't understand, because
right.
that's
That's the
the mindset
thing.
they're coming from. Yeah. Carla, go ahead.
So I had a personal thing. It's like, Carolyn, you mentioned Baja. That's where I'm selling my house and moving to Baja.
Oh,
You're
cool.
Carla, you're moving to Baja?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Well, it's great down here. I mean, I'm sure in the U.S. you've all heard these horror stories about Baja in Mexico, but it's not true. It's really nice here.
So that's where we're going. And so,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Now you have a connection. That's so cool.
Yeah.
and what's the other thing? Yes, the script is written. This and I don't want to do it to make anybody anxious. So worry is actually, so because in the course it says this is a required course. The amount, how you take it is your choice, or however, I don't know the exact words. It's like, so that is it. Those are the words. It's our choices. The script is written. It's multi-layered. It's so dimensional. It's all. Every choice has already been thought of. Every choice is so amazing. Every choice that anybody makes has already been seen. And so as people make choices, we're creators, that God made us in his image, because we're creators too. And what we create is from our choices. Okay. So it's not, don't worry about your choices, but what I'm practicing is choosing from guidance. It doesn't matter how you choose. It does not matter. I've learned that it's the judgments that are the delay. When you judge it, then another opportunity has to be offered to you to learn again, to choose love, because you're not choosing love. Because love is the only choice, the only thing there is. So that's the only choice, really. Even if in the course it says, if someone is either calling love or choosing love, and what is the only response? Love. So whatever you choose, love it, accept it, or whatever you have to do is it. No, you're learning. It doesn't matter. It does not matter at all. We're just all learning. Up to 7 billion of us? And so if you
Carla,
choose from love, choose. That's it. Thanks. What you say?
Carla, just one thing. Where are you moving to in Baja? On the peninsula?
David, I give you you can WhatsApp me or something, but Linda can give you my number if she knows how to
Oh, I
contact
was
you.
just curious. That's
So
okay.
I don't
Yeah.
know. We're going to be close to the border probably, because
Oh, yeah, I know.
I don't know Spanish.
I do. We Spanish lessons. No, I'm in Ensenada, so I'm about an hour from the border. So yeah, I have a feeling I know where you might be going.
So probably about half an hour from the border.
Yeah,
But
Rosarito.
David is Hispanic. It's his culture.
Uh-huh.
He knows. I'm just following him in that sense.
Well, that's
Not
really cool. You're
him,
gonna
but
like it.
guidance. So this whole thing is delaying us. It's okay.
I
I mean,
know. I
it's
know.
really paused the ankle, delaying us now, the coronavirus delaying, but it's all for my good.
Yes, it
know.
is.
It is all for my good.
And
So
you're gonna like it. You're gonna like it. I've been down here for 27 years, so no worries. You're gonna enjoy. You're gonna be right on the beach too. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna sign off, so I'm not taking up time. Bye bye.
I'm excited for the two of you to meet in person. That's cool. So, Mitzi, go ahead.
I just want to mention that one thing that I've become more and more aware of is my old habit of defending myself and having conversations in my head to try and state a case for my whatever it is, you know. And I have more and more awareness that as soon as I begin building an argument in my head and having defending thoughts, that I'm on the wrong track, that I'm on an ego track, and that I simply don't have to do that. I don't have to know what it's all about, because defending is always something deeper there. I can just trust that the Holy Spirit will show me at some point in time, rather sooner than later. But I do know this from A Course in Miracles, that any time, no exceptions, I am defending, I'm in the wrong frame of mind. I have chosen the path of sorrow and not joy. I've chosen littleness again, and what I've chosen is to block love. That is one of the biggest blocks to love, is defending. That I've really chosen, and I've chosen that I want to be right and I want to prove them wrong, and that's not always really conscious to me, but it comes pretty quickly now. It does. And that's where the willingness that Carla talks about, the willingness to just stop, the conversations in my head, the justifications, the rationalizations, the defending. I have found from my experience, and just giving my experience, that always leads to misery. Always leads to misery, and it's always a block to love. It's always a block to make me separate from them, and to and it's again another one of those I'm right, they're wrong sort of thing, you know. And it just need not be. So thank you. I'm learning.
We all are. Thanks, Mitzi. Christine.
Hi guys, how's everybody today? Question with the little bit of time we have left. I'm not quite sure how I understand that I struggle with this, that everything's already happened. So what is our part in influencing it in a different way? Or how does it play out differently, or it just never plays out differently? I'm not sure that I get it. Like, is there a simple way of actually explaining that?
Well, I've heard Jennifer explain it like a video game, because her nephews play video games. And so when you have a video game, like the whole program has already been written, but the different moves and choices that they make determine what the outcome is in each moment. So we also have that same opportunity in our lives. You know, like Gary Renard talks about in the book Disappearance of the Universe, where he had the choice between the two movies. He chose one movie, and when he came out, he realized it was a crappy movie, wished he'd seen the other movie. And what he asked was, why did I choose the crappy movie? Well, the reason why he chose the crappy movie was because the other movie would have gotten out at a different time. He would have been in a bad car accident where he would have been hospitalized. And because he had done so much forgiveness work, all he was required to forgive was seeing the crappy movie instead of the whole experience of having the accident and being in the hospital. So in each and every moment, that is why when we are, in my experience, when I'm choosing things that appear not to be my highest preference, that I know that it still somehow is for my good, even if I can't always know what that means or what it looks like or what it is, because I can't see in all directions of time and space. But I know that I have had feelings and experiences of it where I know I've talked about this before when my husband had his transplant and my son drove to Pittsburgh and was there with us, but he came home early because right before we left to go to Pittsburgh, which is almost 3 hours away from us, we had 6 feet of snow because it was January. It was the beginning of January. And he left a couple days before we got to come home from the hospital because the temperatures were going to go up into the 50s. I'm not sure what that would be in Celsius, but much higher, like springtime temperatures, and it was going to rain. And with 6 feet of snow on our roof and rain coming, that would be really super heavy, and we were concerned about a collapsed roof. So he was coming home early to shovel the roof. And so he got here, he got to our house, he shoveled the roof, and in between leaving from our house and going to his apartment, which isn't that far, his tire blew. And I instantly got this feeling, like deep to my core, that if I had not been doing my own work, that tire could have gone when he was driving on the freeway at 70 miles an hour. And it would have been a completely different outcome. But because I had taken responsibility and I'm doing my own work, we didn't have to have that experience, whatever that would have looked like. And it tears me up even now to think about it, that I know deep in my heart that could have been a completely different experience. So the script is written, but we get to make choices each and every day in each and every moment that will have an impact on our lives. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. So it does actually. Yeah, because as you're talking about these things, I remember the stories. I remember your story about your son, and I remember the disappearance in the universe. So in fact, we do influence it by the work that we're doing.
Absolutely.
Even though the script is written, if we're doing our healing work, it can influence the outcome. Okay, sorry, because sometimes when I hear that, the script is already written, I forget that back part. Do you know what I mean? That we are still influencing it, because I go, okay, but then, yeah, I just got lost there for a minute in that, because I'm like, still doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
The
script being written means the ending is always going to be that we're going to end up with God.
Right.
We're just determining what that path to get there is going to look like.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Leslie, did you have something to add or share?
That's just basically what I was going to say to Linda, is that basically the bottom line is this is just a dream. And I know I'm the type of person that I have a lot of dreams, and I'm usually happy to wake up. I just don't have good dreams usually. And when I can remember, this coronavirus is a dream. It's like, ultimately, I know it's hard to understand because the ego, the body's the ego's home, but I do believe that this is a dream, and I do believe that I am truly spirit. So that helps me sometimes too, because I understand what you're saying, Christine. I get a little lost in that sometimes too, but I just try not to analyze too much, because otherwise I just drive myself crazy.
Yep, we're here having a human experience. All right, so it's 12:59, and I do have to end on time because I have another meeting. I would like to continue next week in chapter 15 with section 4, which is practicing the holy instant, which since we're all quarantined to our homes pretty much, we're going to have a lot of practice time. So I thought that was perfect anyways. All right. And so my reading too for today in my Pathways of Light Insights is for my lesson number 84, which is a review of Love Created Me Like Itself and Love Holds No Grievances. With every situation, it is helpful that I remember that I am love. With every situation, it is helpful to remember that everyone else is love. Oh my gosh, it's so perfect every single time we read it. Okay, I just got sidetracked there. With every situation, it is helpful to remember that only love is real. Illusions of separation are meaningless, and I do not have to give them meaning. It is when I give them meaning that I forget myself and the self in others. I am here to be truly helpful. I can only be truly helpful when I allow my perceptions of distinct bodies with distinct minds to be undone by the Holy Spirit. If I am not at peace, let me remember that I am holding a grievance against the truth. Let me take that grievance to the source of love that shines a light on it and shows me that it is not real. Love holds no grievances. When I hold a grievance, I am forgetting what I am. I am attacking myself. Today, I am willing to practice recognizing grievances for what they are and handing them over to the light so that they can be undone. I am willing to focus on this practice today. Since love created me like itself and love holds no grievances, judgment is never justified. Anytime I judge, it is because I have denied what I am. I have denied myself, and it is only by self-denial that I could believe that it is possible to judge. The body's eyes were made as instruments of judgment. They show me only differences, and I have learned to label these differences. I see a shape defined by differences, and I call it a piano or a tree. This instrument designed to show me differences was made to make the illusion of separation appear real. This is denial of myself as love created me. Yet even in this world of denial, it is possible to let the denial go. While it is possible to simply cease the denial, in practice, the denial is let go of gradually. The sudden and complete release from the image I have made of myself would be terrifying because it would appear that I am sacrificing my identity. And so the Holy Spirit is present in my mind to teach me in every moment as I am willing to be taught. Today, I would practice with the Holy Spirit's help, recognizing the little grievances, the little judgments that run through my mind. I am willing to turn each of them over to the Holy Spirit for him to shine his light upon them and show me the truth beyond the illusion. Show me the unity beyond the perception of separation and differences. Here is peace. Here I experience the joy of connecting in love with all that is. All conflict disappears. I see that I am one with all my brothers, and our interests are the same. We are all love, and our only function is to extend that love. As I look on this, let me remember my Creator. This morning, as I was doing the Stairmaster at the gym while watching the images on the television monitors, the images I saw brought great distress to my mind. I found myself in a time of prayer which turned out to be threefold. I prayed for the two men being held hostage, that they may feel the great outpouring of love extending to them, and that a comfort greater than anything found within this world will make himself known to them. I prayed for the captors, that they may receive so much as a glimpse of their own divinity, and know, no matter how deeply hidden, they desire not these two men any harm. And I prayed for my own desire to hate, that I may remember it be only myself I crucify with such hate. I will not use this to attack love. Thank you, everybody. My hope and dream and desire and wish for each and every one of us is that we answer the cry for love with love within ourselves and within all of humanity at this time. And that we are vigilant to make that choice and take the responsibility that is ours. I love you guys. I'll see you next week. Bye for now.